Am I the asshole for telling my wife she needs to step it up as a mom for our 6-month-old? Throw away the account here. I know the title sounds bad, but let me explain. This is going to be a long post. About 6 months ago, my wife gave birth to our beautiful baby girl, and it was one of the best moments in our lives. My wife was on maternity leave for about 3 months and then went back to work. She was actually supposed to be on maternity leave for a month longer, but decided to go back to work early. This information is important later. My wife and I both work full-time jobs, and currently right now we have a family member who is babysitting her every day. This is during the time when my wife was at home full-time on maternity leave. I noticed after the first month or so that my wife's sister would come over a lot to help her. I didn't think much of it, as I'm sure it was nice to have some help when I wasn't there. Her sister would initially come over maybe once or twice a week, but that radically changed into every single day. Sometimes I would get home and my wife's sister would still be there helping her with the baby. I gently asked if everything was okay, to which my wife dismissed her as just needing help. My wife's sister, on the other hand, pulled me to the side one time and told me that my wife was having a hard time being around the baby, especially when she needed a diaper change, was throwing up, and all the other little messy things babies do. I brushed it off as something that she would get over. This is about 3 months after my wife gave birth. My wife decides she wants to go back to work a month early. And since then, we've both been working full-time with the babysitter coming 4 days a week. This is where I start noticing more about my wife's behavior towards our baby. The few times my wife has changed our daughter's diaper, I could hear her gagging. My wife is a highly sensitive person and gets grossed out easily. She hates when people chew with their mouths open. She can't look at anything remotely unsettling before a meal or she'll lose her appetite. We don't own any pets because she thinks animals are gross, etc. These are all things that I didn't think too much about, as everyone has different sensitivity levels. And I thought she knew what she was getting herself into when we both agreed that we wanted kids. Kids are messy and gross sometimes, and I thought she could handle it. She then started asking me to change our daughter's diaper every single time. When my daughter throws up, she expects me to clean it up every single time. Even now, when our daughter is crying, she almost ignores her and side glances to me that I should deal with it. I have no problem doing these things, but when I ask her why she can't do it, she says things like poop grosses her out because she doesn't like the smell or the sight of seeing it. This has really started to affect me because our daughter usually wakes up around 3 a.m. for a diaper change, and I am expected every morning to get up and change her when it should be a switch off every other night. It's really starting to affect my work. So a couple nights ago, when she woke me up to tell me to change our daughter's diaper, it was around 4 a.m. and I snapped and told her that she needs to step it up as a parent and a mom and help me do these things, as I can't always be the one to do them every single time. I told her that I thought it was weird and immature that she couldn't do the simplest things like changing a diaper. She obviously didn't like that, and she's been giving me the cold shoulder since then. How should I approach the situation, and am I the asshole here? Comments for netizens. Comments 1. I think she needs therapy. Kids are gross. It's not really going to get better for a long time. She needs to find ways to desensitize herself. Replay 1. Yeah, I am so terrified of throwing up. But as a parent, you just suck it up. I've been pooped on, peed on, and thrown up on multiple times. It's just how it goes. She needs to sort out her shit, literally. Replay 2. Same. I hate vomit. I am also a sympathetic vomiter. Vomit is my worst nightmare. Yet I have sucked it up and caught my kids' vomit in my own hands, cleaned it up, etc. because that's my freaking job. Replay 3. My daughter threw up in the bathroom, while on the toilet with diarrhea, all over the floor and side of the toilet when I was in the shower. I had to try to clean it up but naked, gagging heavily, and get her cleaned up. Replay 4. The concept of dealing with baby shit and vomit is absolutely unmanageable for me, which is one of the reasons I'm not having kids. It wouldn't be fair for the kids to have a mom who was too grossed out to tend to them, or for my husband to have to do all the bodily fluid parts of parenting. If you have the baby, you kind of have to accept that part of parenting and be willing to work on your approach to it. Definitely unreasonable to expect that OP or her sister-in-law are going to change every diaper for the kid's whole first few years of life. Replay 5. 100%. As a mom of 5, I say it often and with all the love in the world, parenting is a literal shit show. Even before we had our sons together, one of my first memories with my stepdaughter, she was 4 when we met, amazing 15 years old now, is helping her change and clean up after she wet or had an accident in bed. What broke my heart was that she was terrified to tell me at first what happened, because at her mom's house she said she would get screamed at and shamed for it, and told she was disgusting and a baby. We actually bonded a great deal that night because I treated her with empathy and understanding, not treating her like a chore I was disgusted by. She actually never wet her bed when with us again. We had 50-50ths custody. Now that she is older, we still legally have 50-50ths, but she chooses to stay with us most of the time. Point is, this needs to be addressed ASAP because the child is going to pick up this energy from the mom, and it will do damage. Despite being sensitive before having a baby, a big factor, as others have mentioned, may be PPD. We are far more likely to get over the yuck part of parenting when we feel that emotional attachment. If she is dealing with PPD, she may not be able to feel it, which wouldn't be her fault, as long as she can do what's best for the baby, your family, and herself, and seek help right away. Comment 2. Not the asshole. My husband, too, is grossed out by vomit, poop, and everything else that smells. I'm the one who cleans the toilets and takes out the trash. That's okay for me. But he wanted kids. It was his big dream to become a dad. I told him before that if I give birth to a kid, I don't want to feel like a single parent, that I am just not able to do all the nights by myself, do all the care by myself. I'm fine with changing clothes after vomiting and full diapers through the day, but I want at least every other weekend that he gets up at night to calm the baby down and of course change the clothes or diapers when needed. That if he is alone with the baby while I have an appointment or whatever, he needs to change the diapers, too. He can't wait for me to come home. That if the kid get a little older and the daycare or school calls because the kid is sick, he has to step up, too, as soon as I have all my kid sick days used off. In my country, both parents have the same amount of days they can stay home with sick kids while being paid. He agreed. We got a kid. There were moments I heard him gag while changing diapers while I tried to go back to sleep, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm still a person with needs, too. I also need to sleep. Our daughter is 5 by now, but still wakes up at night sometimes, and of course she gets sick now and then and she just won't do 100% of the poop in her potty. 98% of the time I'm changing diapers, 99% of the time I'm with her when she is sick, I stay up 95% of the time in the nights if she has nightmares or is ill. But for that little percent left, I want my husband to step up so I can have some rest when I need it. And he does. He feels really uncomfortable with the gross stuff, but he knows that it is his responsibility as a parent. Your wife has a responsibility, too. She knew that she had sensory issues, but she still wanted a kid. She knew that kids poop and vomit. Still, she wanted a kid. So yes, she needs to suck it up or get herself some professional help to work on her issues. If you have enough energy left, you can suggest that you will do the gross stuff as long as she needs with her therapy to be able to cope with her issues, or at least give her a period of time that you can manage to get up alone before she needs to help. But while I'm feeling sorry for your wife, your health matters, too. She can't expect you to do all the care work with the baby. And as soon as your daughter gets older, she will recognize that her own mother is grossed out by her. She needs a mother who is able to be there for her when she is sick. I feel sorry for kids who know that one parent isn't able to care for them. It strains their relationship, too. To develop a healthy relationship with her own kid and bond with her, your wife needs to cope with her issues. That being said, I think that while you're not an A for telling her she needs to step up, you are kind of thankful for not taking your sister-in-law's concerns seriously from the beginning and getting your wife the help she needed immediately. You first started to take her problems seriously when it started to affect you more. While she should have told you about her struggles, it seems you didn't care that much about your wife while she was postpartum and left your sister-in-law with the care of your wife and baby. It's nice that she took care of them, but it's not okay that you left her with this responsibility all alone. Comment 3. As the father of 3, postpartum is a real thing and you and your wife should talk with her doctor. Replay 1. I'm so glad to see a father chiming in on this. Lot of people who have clearly never parented, saying that PPD or PPA is a trope or something. When you are a frog in a pot of water, you don't notice it slowly coming to a boil. Same goes for PPA or PPD, for both mothers and fathers. Yes, it can impact fathers. You don't know how deep in and dysfunctional you are until something forces you to face it.